Hello, welcome to Level 3, April of 2016, Fast Charleston. This is Helen.
This is Paul.
And in this series, we're building up the concepts for fast and clear leading and following in Charleston. So we started with the basics of owning your own balance and your own internal movement on solo. And we started with a couple of exercises. So one of them was pulsing, 2, 3, 5, 6, shifting weight, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, shifting weight, 1, 2, 3. Then we went to 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we went to 2 counts, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, freeze. So the concept here was that we are balanced over the foot that we're shifting onto, so that if we couple together as a partner, then we can dance together without having to counterbalance necessarily or drag each other down as we're dancing faster. So we went on to kicks after that. So we did 8 counts, kicking forward first. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, shift. 1, 2, 3. And same thing all the way down to 2 counts. Then we swiveled and kicked across, decoupling our upper body from our lower body, and we emphasized this with what we called the zombie hang. So we have our lower body moving and working, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and our upper body is just super relaxed. And we're using our core to isolate the motion of our lower body from our upper body. And the reason we did that is because as you go faster and faster, people have a tendency to creep all the force up into their upper bodies as well. So the next concept we talked about was traveling. So we said that the normal Charleston itself, let's orient towards the side. If we were to do a Charleston that involves some motion side by side, then we could convey stepping on different feet, versus if we're just in place, the follow only can rely on the weight shift to decide whether or not they're stepping onto their other foot. But if we're moving, then the follow can tell that they should be stepping down onto their other foot. So we showed you a couple of forward and backward movements, including kicks in place, that had to do with displacing the hip.
We also worked on stopping and making sure that you could still stand on your own weight without falling over. So we did this as partners, so we would just go and then disconnect.
And if we find yourself doing something like falling over like so, then you're not owning your own balance. And as you go to higher and higher speeds, it's more important for you to balance over your own self. So let's demonstrate a couple of disconnections and forward and backwards and different kicks. So we're both fairly well balanced and we're not falling over. Okay, we increased the speed and practiced this a fair bit with different direction turns, and I think we went up to 270 ultimately. The goals were to be small with your feet, and also to not shuffle with your feet.
Yeah, so shuffling would look something like this, where one foot is going backwards on the ground. That makes it harder to connect with your partner at high tempos.
And the reason is that we want to be planted on our foot that has our hip over our foot, or we want to displace, but if the follow feels both hip rotation and some other pulsing, they're not sure whether to step or to move. And of course, you can completely lead the shuffle as well, but for starting with the basics, we had our feet planted. We also did a yo-yo. So very basic step. And we talked about the concepts at higher speeds of leading earlier in the count. And for this specific move, it involved the rotational rock step. And as we went to faster and faster music, we said to start that rotation earlier so that the follow can rock step in time for the next beat.
We also talked about having a strong core so that your partner has something solid to move around. And it really helps you keep the momentum going.
So as we have our upper bodies connected with a hand and a pressure right here, as we move our upper bodies and our hips, the core is what couples the feet down to your leading, which is happening at the upper body. And so if we have relaxed cores or cores that aren't engaged, then we can lead different than where our weight is. Our goal is actually to move our centers using our connection, our back hands, to be exactly above our feet. And so that requires the core. We practiced a lot. So we went from, I think, 220 or 230 at the beginning of the class to 270 at the end. So well done. We'll more tandem and hand-to-hand figures and better leading and following tips for next time. We'll see you then.